Welcome everybody, this is Groundwarfare and today I'll share a video showcasing the German tier 10 tank destroyer, the Jagdpanzer E100. We start with a match on Hidden Valley. It's mainly a tier 8 match with a couple of tier 9s and only 3 tier 10 tanks on each side. We spawn here at the southeastern base and I figured let's go up to the mountain pass and hold up the enemy advance there. This map basically you have only two ways, either go into the mountain pass or you go down into the village. With me being a tank destroyer, having strong frontal armor, I should engage the enemy heavy tanks. And this is usually the place where the enemy heavy tanks will show. A question I sometimes get asked in a chat is why I perform the Hitler salute with my tanks. And it's not the Hitler salute, at least it's not intended like that. The reason for me doing this is very simple. When you drive around in the cap circle and you look around, you can accidentally hit your left mouse button, which in most cases is the button you fire your gun with. Usually you keep your gun pointed straight forward or horizontally. That way, if you accidentally hit the fire button, you would potentially hit one of your friendlies. So I point up my gun into the sky, so when I look around and if by accident I hit the fire button, the shell will go into the air, not hitting friendly tanks. It's just an extra assurance I've developed playing tank destroyers, because when they fire their shells, they can do a lot of damage, and especially the E100, I can shave off 1000 hit points by accident on a friendly tank. So this is just to assure that whenever I make a mistake and hit that button, I don't hit any friendlies. But back to the battle. If you look at the team, they are split up 50-50 majorly. Half of the team is up here with me and the other half is down in the valley and in the town. But by the looks of it, the enemy is very aggressive in town, so that could indicate that they have a lot of tanks there. Which means that whatever enemy is up here, we need to take out quickly and then head back to base to defend it, most likely. First enemy target here is a T-57 heavy. He did spot me, but he didn't have a line of fire. I'm waiting for it. I don't have the, there's still a little hill in the road, but there is an M103. I get a quick shot into him, doing over 1000 damage. And waiting for one of my teammates to finish him off. In between reloads, I try to avoid getting hit, so break line of fire. It is the Jagdpanzer E100 is based on the E100's hull, but it can still be penetrated, and you don't want to get hit in this tank that much. You do have a fair amount of hit points to play with, but still, it's early in the game. Try to save the hit points if possible. At this moment, the enemy has taken the town. We have only 2 tanks left defending the water crossing there. Right now I am waiting for the M103 or Rheinland-Borsig to pop out to get a shot into them. And there he is, taking him out. And we need to take out these tanks up here before we can head back. Otherwise, if we head back now, they'll come up after us and kill us very quickly, I'd imagine. So yeah, I'm being a little bit more aggressive here, pushing up. And there's the object he just fired, so I'll take position, aim, and put a nice shell into the side of his hull. Next target is the IS-3, but not needed anymore because he got ammo wrecked by one of my friendly tanks. They also took care of the M103, which means this side is secured. Right now, all we can do is defend the base. That is the best chance of winning. We have less tanks than theirs. We are farther away from their base than they are to our base, which means if they rush for our cap, they get there first, they start capping first. Since all their tanks are there, they win by outcapping us. So attacking is, yeah, certainly giving up. You lose that way. So defending is all we can do. And here I go. They're all crossing in front of me, and I'm trying to take out as many tanks as possible. Luckily, I did manage to kill that Centurion Mark II by setting him on fire. And now it's rushing back to base, because they're all behind the hills now. I have no line of fire anymore. And yeah, I'm trying to urge the team to come back with me and help defending as well, because that's the only way we have a chance. The E75 is aggressive and attacking, but I believe the Waffenträger and KV4 are, yeah, they're coming back. Well, which is needed, because we have only less than a minute to do something about this situation. Right now, 2 of the enemy medium tanks are cutting in between myself and the KV4, preventing him from going back to base. Luckily, I'm still here. There is the IS-3, probably kept first. Nice, that was well, unexpected, but a bit of luck is needed here. We do have the E75 still in town, and all there is right now is the T-54E1. I thought, let's ram him, but considering the situation, that wouldn't be a great idea, because then I would be all in the open, and I could have received, or I could have taken hits from the E75 and maybe the T-54 as well. I'm aiming for the E75. He gets shot by our Waffenträger, but I'm not sure how many shells he has left, so I fire, finish him off. And I think the Waffenträger was out of rounds anyway, but he got taken out by the T-54. Now I'm on a reload, and that T-54 is fast, especially going downhill, so I have no time whatsoever to take a shot at him. All I can do is maneuver myself, so take as many hits as possible and try and ram him. At this point, I really rely on our E75 to do something about this. I'm not aware of my positioning yet. I do notice incoming rounds, so I imagine the E75 is trying to shoot the T-54. And well, when I look around, I see, there is a lot of things obstructing us from the E75. So I try to move myself in a position where the E75 has a better field of fire on the T-54. He does get dragged. I reverse back again to keep the T-54 in this side, in the open. And at this point, I run away. Unfortunately, the E75 bounced that shell, so I'm now on a one-shot kill. The T-54 is coming after me, but lucky for me, our friendly E75 saves my ass there, taking out the T-54, ending the game in a victory. These results were good enough for a mastery, as well as Top Gun, Steel Wall and High Caliber, doing over 6,500 damage and only getting beaten by XP by the friendly E75. So he had a good game as well. The next replay is one of a battle on Himmelsdorf encounter mode. This time it's mainly a tier 10 match, 7 or 8 tier 10s on both teams, a couple of tier 9s and 1 or 2 tier 8s and a couple of tier 8 scouts. Here we spawn on the top of the map, or on the top of the hill, which is fortunate. We can climb the hill quickly and get some first rounds off into the approaching enemy when they are trying to get up the hill. As you will notice in a second, the gun depression of the Jagdpanzer E100 is not sufficient enough to hug the ridgeline or the brow of the hill here, so we have to climb up and expose our lower hull to the enemy in order to get our gun down to shoot at them. So I take the first hit here, and it penetrates, of course, because the lower plate is not that thick. I'm trying to work the brow of the hill here at the moment, and yeah, here I bounce one, but I don't have clear shots at the enemy yet. It looks like a lot of them are on the hill as well. That is size shot at the side armor of the E100. It didn't pan. Probably got eaten by the spaced armor. By this time now I figured let's get up the hill and get in a better position in order to bring the gun down on the enemy. As you look at that map, the enemy has some forces down in the town, closing in on the cap circle. But right now I cannot do anything about that yet. We have to take care of these tanks first. And there are a lot of the heavy tanks on the hill, which is good. That means I'm useful here. I'm just trying to wait for the enemy to make a mistake and come around the corner, but it seems that the IS-7s here are doing some nice side scraping. There, obvious weak spot, the bar on top of the turret of the E100. I fire and penetrate, and that's a nice damage roll. I back up while reloading, and there you see, the enemy has slipped through the death alley, the 8 line, because we didn't guard it, and the enemy batchat now is threatening us in the rear. I try to engage him, because we cannot let him shoot freely upon our friendlies here. So I decided let's go down, auto aim, and a clutch shot, which is very fortunate to hit. I didn't kill him, but it looks like our friendly AMX 1390 is going after him. So here I'm turning around again to engage the enemy forces on the hill, which still force a significant threat. As you can see behind me, the enemy Jagdpanzer E100 is also trying to come up our side of the hill. But yeah, he's slow like me, so I have some time still to get some shots up at the enemy tanks on the hill before I turn around and engage him. So I try to do a sneaky shot here underneath the wreckage of a tank, but as you can see, it's only the tracks I can hit. I was surprised first that it only detracted him, but when I looked at the replay closer, yeah, it's obvious I could only shoot the tracks basically, so that wouldn't do any damage at all anyway. Right now I'm waiting for the enemy Jagdpanzer E100 to climb the hill and get a shot off at him. He is still at full health, so it will take 2 shots of me to take him out. Our friendlies here are doing a good job holding back the enemy, but yeah, this Jagdpanzer seems not to be noticed by the team, because everybody is still focused on the tanks in front of them and don't look behind them. So just a reminder to you all, always keep a close eye on the map and be aware of what's going on around you. Anyway, I'm still here holding off this Jagdpanzer E100. He doesn't seem eager to climb the hill yet. But as you can see, my sides and rear are now exposed to the enemies that are flanking around the castle to my rear left. Finally, the E100 is coming up the hill. I shoot his lower plate. He aims for the T-30 next to me and kills him, which was the best thing to do for him anyway. He shouldn't have wasted a shot at me and not kill me, and then the T-30 could take a shot at him. So he did a good job there. While I'm waiting on reload, the friendlies are finishing off the last remaining tank on the hill, so the hill is ours now. But if you look at the map, the enemy has completely taken over control of the town and the cap, and are capping right now, so we need to do something quickly. And I try to point out to the team that the enemy Jagdpanzer E100 is still here and I need some help taking him out. And I do get support from one friendly. He's coming up behind me right now. I'm doing some side scraping, trying to spot it. And no. Okay, well, that's luckily. If the Jagdpanzer E100 was there, he would have killed him. But he seemed to be retreated all the way down to the corner, and he waits, or he lays there in ambush position, and still manages to kill our T-54 E1. He is reloading, so at the moment I'm counting in my head like 15, 14, 13, 12 and so on, because I thought I might just beat his reload. And 2, 1, fire. And yeah, it was a really close one. I expected him to be reloaded by that time. I fired as well, so luckily I already was aimed a little and managed to take him out, which is fortunate. But what is not so fortunate is that we have 2 enemy tanks all the way on the other side of the map. They cannot support me. And we have 2 enemy tanks in the cap, which is the WoT-replay-Jagdpanzer and probably the AMX 1390. If you can look at the map, the WoT-replay-Jagdpanzer E100 was spotted here, and yeah, there he is. He doesn't seem to look in my direction yet. He's behind the buildings all the way in the open there. So yeah, I need to get up upon him and take him out. As you notice, he fired twice now. He's moving forward. He didn't notice me yet, but now he does. He probably has still 3 shells remaining. That's 1, penetrates. And I'm desperately side scraping here, trying to block or bounce his remaining 2 shots. Using the wreckage and the building in front of me to protect my lower hull. He fired at the flank and it bounced, but the second shot went into my tracks and he tracked me, but he probably was out of shells by that time. Luckily I managed to kill him, but it only leaves me with 60 hit points, and that is very tricky. Basically any of them can kill me with 1 each shell, and they already managed to take out our, what is it, IS-7, and they're still capping. I have a HE loaded here because I thought, well, they're both lightly armored, this will do more damage. There's the scout, and that is very unfortunate. Lots of damage probably has been absorbed by the track, leaving him only with about 30 hit points. And well, what you should know is this is one of my first few games in the Jagdpanzer E100. I wasn't very experienced yet, and basically this the result on the using the HE on the enemy AMX 1390 left me with the conclusion that, well, the HE is probably not that reliable, so I switched back to regular AP rounds, and that was fortunate because the enemy WoT-replay-Jagdpanzer was hiding behind a car, which if I would shoot a HE at him, the shell would explode on the impact when it hit the car, leaving the enemy WoT-replay-Jagdpanzer alive. So fortunate for me, I made the right choice there. Probably by accident, because I wasn't aware at that time of it yet. But this is a tricky, or a very tricky situation, because I know the reputation of AMX 1390, and he can win this. All he needs to do is ambush me, come up on an unsuspected angle, and all you have to do is shoot 1 heat round into my side or rear, and it's game over. I'm still using the standard AP rounds because, yeah, I thought that that's a guarantee kill. Yeah, the friendly I7 man asked me why I'm not using HE. Well, at that time I wasn't aware that the HE shell had a splash radius of 2.5 meters. So yeah, I was a noob in the Jagdpanzer E100 basically. All I try to do here is keep my front towards the enemy and keep an eye on the possible approaches of him. Right now he cannot ambush me because I will spot him when he tries to get around to either side of that building. In the meantime, I back up slowly, trying to get into the cap, still pointing my frontal armor towards him. And it seems that he is doing the same as I'm doing, trying to keep eyes upon me. While he shouldn't. He should break contact, go all the way around, disappear. He should make me guess from which side he will come. And there are 3 sides basically when I'm in the cap. Front and back and one of the sides. So he should have run away and just come back in a minute. Because it's going to take me 2.5 or 3 minutes in order to win by capping. But it seems that he sticks around. and well, at the moment I was so nervous because it was me or him. If I miss, he kills me. If he makes a mistake, I kill him. And here is my mistake. I shoot, miss, he aims for me, and at this time I notice he's using HE because he only did 10 damage. Lots of damage was absorbed by my track, but I know what he has loaded right now, and I'm reloading. I'm not sure why he didn't go after me and shoot again, but he backed up, leaving me able to get into cover and wait for him, and now he comes around this side. He knows I have spotted him, but there you go, he sticks out. So I try to juke him again by not aiming at that point to make him go out again, and there he goes out again. So right now I think, well, the third time, and there he goes. He makes the mistake, he falls for the trap. And my heart was pounding, but fortunately it leaves me with a victory worthy of a mastery badge and a high caliber. Yeah, so being top of the team, doing over 8,000 damage, which was a very satisfying result. And here comes the final replay of today's video. I start on Sacred Valley, and we spawn in the northeast corner of the map. It is standard battle. Both teams have tier 7 or 6 tier 10 tanks, a couple tier 9s and a couple tier 8s, as well as one piece of artillery. So I keep that in mind that I need to stay arty safe at the moment. And I'm following the heavies here down the heavy line. The northern part of the map is usually where all the heavies go and fight it out. And that is the place where I need to be. And our mediums are going for the hill. That's good as 2, so it's a good spread all over the map. Our Leopard prototype is very aggressive, but he does manage to spot the enemy heavy tanks that are coming on down this way. But in that attempt, he gets taken out fairly quickly. Luckily, I did manage to get one shell into the enemy T-54 E1. And right now I need to get my ass into cover, because most likely the enemy arty is focused on this area, I would imagine. While I'm waiting for the reload here, I try to stay arty safe still. Waiting for the 50B to do some spotting, and there we go. The enemy E3, I believe, has been spotted, yeah. It's a very well armored tank from the front. I fired at the upper frontal armor, and of course that's a bounce. And I have to reload again, so yeah, I cannot support the 50B at the moment. And he gets taken out by the enemy E100s. I am almost reloaded now. I'm trying to decide what I'm going to shoot, but I have no clear shots at either one of them. So I back off again. I'm not doing a real great job here on staying arty safe, but so far arty hasn't managed to find me yet. I'm trying to spot the enemy tanks again. There they are. They spot me as well, but still no clear line of fire. And I'm waiting for the enemy to make a mistake and come around that corner so I can put a shell into them, but so far they stay very safe. So at the moment I cannot do a lot, just wait, and forgetting that there is arty in play, and right now it popped up in my mind and I start to move out again. I figured we need to be aggressive here. We are engaging the enemies on the other side of this hill to my right. So it would be nice of me to take off some of the pressure on them by engaging the enemy's tanks on this side. So I'm trying to climb the hill here, and there we spot the IS-8. I managed to bounce one of his shells. I'm going for the E100, the top bar on the turret, which is the weak spot. And fortunately it goes through, doing 980 damage. And while reloading I back up again, keeping in mind that there's arty, so I keep moving, try make it hard for the enemy arty to guess which direction I'm going. And I am spotted, but it seems that the enemy E100 is not looking at me, giving me the side of his turret, giving me a clear chance to do another 1100 something damage, leaving him on 431 hit points. As you can see, there is a lever coming up my right to support me, and the enemy E3 is up the hill here on 900 hit points. So I thought, well, I might be able to take him out if I can get up and come up behind him. But it's gonna take me some time because it's a steep slope, and this tank ain't the fastest of tanks. So while I do this, I leave my friendly Löwe all by himself on that corner. And at this time I thought, well, they can manage the E3, but the Löwe has been taken out, so I wasted valuable time and effort trying to get up this hill, doing eventually nothing, and leaving the Löwe there to die by himself. I should have stuck with the Löwe and helped him take on the enemy tanks here. But yeah, that's my mistake. I do apologize for that. But yeah, I am also only human, and I make mistakes as well. Right now I'm worried about the T-54 E1 here. He is probably loaded and he tracks me, and I'm waiting. But I also think, well, Artie's gonna land a shell on me, so once he fires again, I repair my tracks, turn in and take him out. And I still think, okay, Artie's gonna hit me, I need to get out of here. And I try to do my best to get as fast as I can, but it's not fast enough, and Artie lands a shell in the back of my tank. Luckily it didn't do a whole lot of damage, but it does detract me, delaying me in helping our E100 taking care of this IS-8. Fortunately he backs off and gives me a clear shot at his engine, taking him out. I am spotted again, and still I thought, well, Artie hit me once, he's probably still looking at me. So I get in cover, get unspotted, and then turn around. In the meantime, the friendly 46 pattern is making a run for the enemy cap and probably trying to spot the enemy artillery. He does manage to spot the enemy Waffenträger, and yeah, I have no clear line of fire at him yet, so I need to go forward and support this M46 pattern. If you look at the map, the other remaining enemy tanks, the E50M and T32, have been spotted in the field to my left, so they are not a real threat right now, but the Waffenträger is going for the pattern. So I'm looking here, can I have a shot? I do see him. It looks like a little bit of a delay there, but I managed to shoot through a wall, probably into the turret of the Waffenträger, taking him out, which was quite lucky. And I'm still staying on the move, because Artie is looking here, and I am spotted. I don't know my what, but I try to get Artie safe. Artie has been spotted right now, and our pattern is engaging him. I do spot the T-32 and as well the E50M to my left, so I'm in all kinds of trouble. I need to get myself into a safe spot, turn around, and no, the E50M tracks me, and I'm desperately trying to get away here. Luckily the enemy artillery was distracted by the pattern, so it didn't fire upon me. I'm waiting, and there goes the E50M. A nice hit, backing up, trying to get in cover. And the enemy arty is still alive, so I'm still worried. Yeah, the E50M tracks me again, so I'm preparing myself for getting a good hit from the enemy arty. But luckily our M46 pattern takes him out before he can do any more damage. The T-32 dropped down here, leaving him in the open, and our M46 pattern is able to take him out. So I can point my attention towards the last remaining enemy tank, the E50M. And he is stuck there in the corner behind some hills. It seems that he is threatening our E100. I don't have a good shot there. I cannot shoot underneath the roof because I would hit the hill. So I go around and try my luck again, and it looks that the engine is sticking out there, so I aim and yeah, shell flies through, hitting the enemy engine and providing us with a nice victory, resulting in a high caliber medal, as well as granting me the second mark of excellence on this tank, which I was very happy about to receive. I did over 7,000 damage and managed to get 4 kills, and resulting in a valuable profit of 45,000 credits. I hope you enjoyed these replays. Thanks for watching, and till next time.